Hello everyone, it's Arlene with Design with Arlene, and today I have a card for you made with this beautiful friendship stamp set. I'm making a few of them to show off some of the retired stamp sets that will no longer be carried in the new upcoming catalog that Stampin' Up! Has out that will begin May 4th. So this is one that will not be carried over into the new catalog, and it is really wonderful and beautiful and very, very pretty. I'll be working with some of these hydrangea flowers here, as well as some sentiments, but it's just a really beautiful stamp set altogether, a very soft look. So let me go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you the cardstock that I'm using. So I'm starting out with the card base. This is the basic white, and it's half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and then folded in the middle. And then I also have a piece of Misty Moonlight, and this is some of the Hydrangea Hill, I believe, the designer series paper that I've cut. It is double-sided like all of our designer series paper. I'll be using this side here. And then I have a smaller piece of the Highland Heather, and then I have a piece of the smaller Even Still, the Purple Posy, and then I have a smaller piece of the basic white cardstock. And all of these dimensions that I put on here will be on my blog, so please click the link down below that's in the show notes, and it will take you right there to that blog, and it'll give you all the information that you need. Okay, I'm starting out with the basic white, and I'm going to stamp using the Highland Heather stamp pad. And I love the color, but I want to have a little bit of some lighter and some darker shades going on. So I'm just going to stamp it once. And let's see what that color looks like. It's actually pretty light. You can see this is kind of it's one of those distinctive stamp sets. And so if you look really closely, it's like little tiny, tiny dots. And that's all these little dots make up the pattern. It's beautiful. So let me just go down here a couple more. I'm just going around. But what's nice is I want to give it a little bit of depth to it, so I'm not re-inking up my stamp. Plus, I think this looks like it needs to be re-inked a little bit. Okay. Maybe one more right there. Yeah, maybe one more right there. Okay. And then I have some little leaves. This is from the stamp set. I'm going to stamp up these, and I'm using the Old Olive. This is Old Olive. Some little, just random across here. Again, I'm stamping a couple times before I ink up my stamp again. And then with the Misty Moonlight ink pad, I'm going to stamp the saying inside, right in the middle there. And this one just says, I love our beautiful friendship. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. Okay, so there we have one of the pieces that we're stamping. And then I'm going to move on to the Purple Posy piece of cardstock. And I'm just stamping basically the same thing, just random flowers across. This Highland Heather, I think, needs to be re-inked. So actually, I think I just used Misty Moonlight, but let's go with that. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? Okay, now let me clean that off. So sometimes even when you stamp, and that's part of love of paper crafting, is you can stamp things and it's not really the way that you meant it to go, but it still turns out pretty good. And that's what we're going to do. So now I'm taking my Highland Heather. This is the ink pad that needs to be re-inked. And then I'll go across here. And I'm stamping toward the edges. And I'm even stamping over the Misty Moonlight that I've stamped. Okay. Actually, I think I like that color on there. And I think it will go really well with the paper. So that's a good thing. All right, let's get some of those leaves. I've got some leaves that are similar to what I just used. This actually has 3 leaves instead of 2. So we'll just kind of insert those in. okay, randomly. Okay. The next step that I'm going to do is take from the Stitched Shapes dies, and if you saw my previous video, you see that these are retiring, so these are ones that I am going to keep. I use them all the time, so I absolutely still love them. So I'm going to actually just run it through my embossing machine, my die cut machine. So I'm cutting out an oval right in the middle of this smaller piece of cardstock. And then after I'm done with that, I'm also going to run it through our Scripty embossing folder. This again is another retiring folder that will not be carried through. So I'm going to die cut this and then run this same piece of cardstock through the machine, and then I will be right back. Okay, you can see after I ran it through and then I cut it, it's going to have just a very slight, the embossing, you can see there it goes. I think with the shadow hitting it, you can see that it just is very slight, but it's just enough to give it a little bit of texture, which is what I wanted for this card. All right, and then now we are going to be able to put the card together. So it will just take some of the liquid adhesive glue and glue the larger piece of the Designer Series paper onto the Misty Moonlight cardstock. Like this. Okay, we have that glued on there. See which way I want it to go. And then I'm going to take this piece of Highland Heather and glue that down as well. Series paper here. Okay, and then I have this piece right here. So this piece, you have a little bit of leeway, but say you don't get it exactly stamped centered. You want to use your piece that you've cut out, the oval shape, and just to make sure that it's centered on there. And once it is, this is the good part about having this liquid adhesive, because it is a little forgiving. If you set it down and you need to move it, it does dry quickly, but you have some time to move it around. So I just want to make sure that it's nice and centered and it looks okay. It looks like it does. You see it moved right there. Okay, and then I'm taking some Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to add these onto my piece that has been the oval die cut. Just center that on. And then grabbing my cardstock base, just put some glue onto the back of that Misty Moonlight. Oh, do you just love, look at that, the purple here, it almost matches, doesn't it? And that Misty Moonlight doesn't look too bad. I am going to, let's get some, I think some pearls would be really pretty here. So I'm going to add some of those. This card is just calling for pearls, so I think we should add them. In little spots there. Okay, so there is our fun card that we've made using the beautiful Friendship stamp set. It's a set of 13, so you get quite a few in there to have fun with and make fun projects with. And there is the card right here. You can see it's popped up a little bit with the Stampin' Dimensionals, and it was quick to make with a little bit of nice texture going on with that Scripty embossing folder and the beautiful Designer Series paper too as well. Again, all of the products that I used along with the dimensions will be on my blog, which the link is down below in the notes. So please like the video, subscribe if you like this content and want to see more, and we'll see you next video. Thanks. Bye.